Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Talking Cardboard. As always, my name is Cory, this is Nick, this is John, and this is our 2022 holiday shopping guide for the Christmas holiday season. All right, and like we said, this is the 2022 holiday shopping guide of games that we would suggest you buy this year for Christmas or any other holiday shopping for either yourself, friends, or family. So, John, let's start with you with your first pick.
So, first of all, I just want to say that by far the best place to get games right now, if you're not like a hardcore gamer, just go to Target. Everything's cheap. They generally have a buy one, get one deal or something, or buy two, get one. So all my games can be found at Target for reference. Let's start with my first game, which is a party game. And this game I haven't played a ton, but the few times I have, it's been really fun. And that's Exploding Kittens. Just a light game. You're throwing cards out there. You're trying not to get the kittens that explode, or even if you do, there's like diffuse cards and some other cards that mitigate getting that and getting bounced out of the game. So
is it kind of like Old Maid? Try not to get the...
Something like that, yeah. You just don't want to get an exploding kitten and die.
So, true story here. I actually was at Target just the other day trying to get a gift for a white elephant gift exchange that I was organizing for my office. And I was like, well, since everyone knows I'm the board game fanatic at my work, I have to, of course, bring a board game. And I went to Target and saw that Exploding Kittens was on sale for half off, as John was just saying.
There you go.
Perfect gift for the gift exchange. In fact, it was one of the few gifts that actually got stolen because it was in such high
demand. There we go.
So, really, wow.
Already my recommendation is making waves.
Awesome. Nick, let's go over to you for your pick.
So for my pick, I'm going with Betrayal of the House on the Hill for a couple of reasons. First, they just came out with the third edition of Betrayal, and I haven't played the third edition. The one I've played is the second, but I imagine they ironed out some of the issues with the last edition and this newest one. And also, just the game itself is very easy to learn and pick up. And then related to that is the Scooby-Doo version of Betrayal of the House on the Hill. So if you're shopping for a younger member of your family or a younger friend, that's an option too. I haven't played the Scooby-Doo version, but my understanding it plays very similar to the normal Betrayal of the House on the Hill. It just has a lighter theme to it, as the normal Betrayal game has kind of a darker theme, maybe not quite.
Yep.
The best game for for someone under 10, but Scooby obviously is a theme that all ages can enjoy. So that's my recommendation.
Yeah, and in general, I'd say Betrayal at House on the Hill is definitely a talking cardboard favorite. We played Betrayal Legacy. We played the second edition quite often. Played it with work folks. It's always been a hit. And then another side note is I'm 99% sure Target also has the third edition.
I was literally thinking that.
So I know they have the second edition for sure, but again, Target probably has a deal on Betrayal if you're interested in getting that.
And this video happens to be sponsored by Target.
Yes.
That'll be cut out. All right, so my first pick is in line with Nick in being a cooperative game, and not in line with John because you can't find it at Target. I don't think, maybe you can, but this game is Paleo. I don't know if you guys have seen this at Target or not, but Paleo, been really loving the crap out of this game recently, been playing the lights out of it. Paleo, a very light cooperative game. It is fairly thematic for how light the game is. You are going through a deck of cards. Each player has a deck of cards that you are deciding which location you're going to visit on your turn, and you all flip over your cards simultaneously, visit your locations, and either try to help one another out or do a mission on your own card yourself to try to basically survive the Stone Age. Nice, fun, light, family, cooperative game.
Yeah, I would agree. That's one I've always enjoyed playing as a co-op, and I feel like it is very necessary to coordinate your actions on that game, more so than other co-ops.
Yeah, and the difficulty is scalable too.
Yep.
You can throw two different half decks together to form any scenario you want, whether you want it easy, light, medium, heavy, whatever style you're looking for. So that is my pick, Paleo. On to you for your second.
Perfect. Everyone's talking about co-op games, so I think I'm going to jump in with a co-op game. And that game is Horrified, which are two versions now.
Yep.
There's the original one that uses the Universal monsters, and the new version is the American monsters.
Yep.
Both are placed similarly. It's really just the monsters and how they interact with the characters that differs. Pretty easy. It's a board with a bunch of locations. You're moving around trying to save townspeople, and then ultimately defeat the monsters that are randomly chosen for the scenario you're playing. So.
Yeah, and definitely fun family weight too,
Yep.
and scalable for difficulty also.
Yep.
So definitely a good pick. On to Nick.
So for my next pick here, if you guys have seen some of the videos I do, and then my TikToks probably as well, I'm into war games. So I definitely want to try to introduce more people to the wargaming subgenre of the board gaming hobby, and a great game to do that with is Memoir 44. It's a lightweight World War II tactical board game, and the rules are relatively easy to learn. So for a person new to the board gaming hobby in general, they should be able to pick up Memoir 44 because of how the mechanics work. You're kind of prescriptive in what you can do on your turn anyway. The cards kind of dictate what you're able to do, so it makes it easy to play from that standpoint. And what I've appreciated about Memoir 44 is they're definitely continuing to support. Days of Wonder seems to continue to support that game. I saw on Miniature Market that they've reprinted a bunch of the expansions recently, and I picked them up because at one point they were all sold out and hard to find. So, but right now it seems like that game is going to be supported for a while, and it's a really fun game, and a lot of expansion content out there for that game, for Memoir 44 as well. So
Yeah, definitely a good pick. My next pick is a light strategy game, kind of in line with Memoir 44. Not war genre style, but definitely a lighter to medium weight strategy, and that is Dwellings of Eldervale. A game that we just got to the table recently here as a group, and I've also played it a couple times on my own as well. Just a really fun medium weight. I hesitate to say light, but I guess it's more of a medium weight worker placement game that has some unique mechanisms to it, where you are really trying to not necessarily block the different spots from your opponents to be able to go to different locations for the worker placement actions, but you're worrying about attacking one another or having a monster roam into your zone that could potentially kill your workers. Another really unique mechanism with this one is that any workers that survive, when you take your pullback action, you can send them back to cards that are in your tableau to trigger some free actions essentially. But again, with the roaming monsters coming at you or attacking your opponents or one another, if your characters die, you don't get to utilize them for those free tableau actions when you pull them back. So it's really cool. One of those worker placement styles where you're throwing everything onto the board and then choosing when to pull them back at the most opportune moment. Really cool mix of everything. The theme is really cool too with the monsters and attacking. You don't usually get that in a Euro style worker placement game, but a lot going on with this one in a nice, tightly knit, light to medium weight strategy game. So that is Dwellings of Eldervale.
Like that one. That was a blast to play a couple weeks ago.
Yep. On to your last pick here.
Yeah, I'm actually going to switch it up to my light strategy game on here because I know my heavy strategy game overlaps with someone else here.
Ooh.
My light strategy, kind of a boring pick, but if anyone's looking to get someone a board game because they want to try out the hobby or whatnot, you gotta go with Settlers of Catan. Like, it is the entry
Catan.
game.
Or just Catan now, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well,
we
whatever
just
they
lost
call it
our
now.
sponsorship from Target.
Right.
Only at
Very, straightforward strategy game. You're building settlements and roads and trying to connect to resources that are based on die rolls. There's trading involved. I don't know what else. There's things like victory points for like longest road and
largest army.
It has a lot of mechanics from more complex board games rolled into it in a very simple package. So,
And just to add to that, if you already know someone has Settlers of Catan and loves that game, because there's a lot of people in the world that really already love Settlers of Catan, and that's like one of the main games they play, and you're not sure what to get them. Well, I happen to get from my brother-in-law, who's obsessed with Settlers of Catan, the 3D Settlers of Catan.
Oh, yes. The board.
Tiles. Which is absolutely like incredible to look at.
Yeah.
Even if you don't even play the game, you could get it as a centerpiece.
and it has a ton of expansions. So if
Yeah.
if someone already has Catan, loves it, go find one of the expansions that maybe they don't have.
Yeah, the Cities and Knights one is great. The what's the water one? Seafarers is fantastic. There's also some expansions that add a fifth and sixth player, which you need to buy a separate fifth and sixth for each expansion you get, which is kind of annoying. But if they do have one or two of the expansions, there is definitely other ways to add to their collection for that. And it's funny you bring that up because Catan is one of those games that has been growing on me the more I play it too. At first glance, very, very lucky, but it's just how you mitigate your luck that makes it really fun. on to your final pick here.
As John already alluded to, my next pick was also on his list, and I'm going to try to get back our Target sponsorship here because this one also can be found in most Target stores, and that's Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. First of all, in terms of amount of game you get for your money, I don't think there's a better deal on the market than Jaws of the Lion. You get a really meaty, relatively heavy strategy game. The typical standard price I think is $50, but often it's on sale. I got it I think for $40. That's right off the bat a great reason to get this game as a gift because you're getting a lot of game for your money. But also it's a slightly lighter version of the bigger, Gloomhaven predecessor to Jaws of the Lion. Obviously, if the person you're shopping for isn't already a fan of board games, this might be a little bit of a risk, but it might be a risk that's worth taking. Cooperative game, and what I appreciate Jaws of the Lion does is that it has the notebook style board.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about finding the tiles for the map, and which is very time consuming regardless of what kind of organization system you have in place for that.
This is like a co-op RPG-esque game, so it's a very campaign style game where you're picking a character and playing various scenarios with them and leveling them up. And this was on my list like Nick said, and I'm very excited to get this potentially for Christmas. And the only downside is if you really like Jaws of the Lion, you might find yourself scratching to buy Gloomhaven, or
Frosthaven,
which great games I'm sure. But
so on to my final game here. It is a heavy strategy game for the hardcore gamer in your life, and for this one it was kind of a tough pick, but I chose Ark Nova. Ark Nova, we've gotten this one to the table a few times. It is a beast. It plays longer, plays in about 3.5 hours for your first game, maybe even longer than that, but you are basically building out a zoo. You are building out sponsorships for your zoo and the different projects that you're doing and the different enclosures that you build and the different animals you're bringing in. You're getting different points for all that. The really cool mechanism that I keep coming back to mechanisms because that's usually what drives my interest in games. But the really neat thing with this game is that it's got shifting card action system. So if you take an action, there's 5 different slots depending on the action you choose. Let's say it's a value 3 action. That's a decently strong action, but then it slides down to your 1 slot. Everything else shifts up and gets stronger, but now that action you just took is now in its weakest slot. You're really trying to balance when to take that opportune action when it's strong versus making it, potentially weaker prematurely. So I think that really drives the game and makes it really fun. Definitely a longer one, like I said. So if you have a few hours to spend in the night, give it a shot. But definitely one that we enjoy here.
Yeah, Ark Nova is a great game for the more hardcore gamer, I'd say. A lot of opportunities for combo plays. It's got tile placement, which I'm always a fan of, obviously. Yep. Granted, it's not as intense in this game or important as you're creating your exhibits throughout your park. But yeah, great game.
Alright, so that does it for today's video of our 2022 holiday shopping guide. I think we all had something on our list that would pertain to either a friend, relative, or any gamer in your life, even yourself. Definitely give a couple of our games a try here. We really highly recommend these. So until next time, you all have fun gaming, happy holidays, and enjoy the season.